Greetings and salutations, scholars, and welcome to the third episode of the Scholars with a capital S podcast. I am your host, Rachel Listowski.
And I am your other co-host, Elijah Engler, but you can call me Eli. Thank you for a wonderful opening, Rachel. It kind of stole my lines there. But,
it's okay.
Yeah.
You're just so good at it that I couldn't even bother to change it.
I'm honored. Thank you.
You're welcome.
But today we have two very special guests. Not one, that's right. Two very special guests. We have Lauren Frye and Lauren Peralta, who both work in the office with Rachel and I. And so why don't you guys just say hi, and your name so we know whose voice is who.
Yeah, so hi, my name is Lauren Frye.
Hi, I'm Lauren Peralta.
Thank you. All right, so first up, we start every podcast like this with our guests, and Rachel and I did it the first time too. 60-second elevator pitch. Who is Lauren? It's a vague,
Who are the Laurens?
Laurens, yeah. So Lauren Frye, why don't you get us started?
Well, as Lauren Frye, I am a computer engineering major. I'm a junior. I work in the Scholar's office with the lovely Rachel and Eli. I am the treasurer for IEEE.
What's IEEE?
IEEE is the Institute of Electronics and Electrical Engineers.
Awesome.
Those E's might have been flipped. I forgot. Yeah, I live with Rachel.
Hi.
All right, Lauren Peralta, why don't you go?
So I'm Lauren Peralta. I'm an integrative neuroscience major and I'm a sophomore. I also do a lot of things involved with scholars. So I am a scholars mentor, a scholars 127 TA, and I'm an office assistant in the scholars office. I'm also the publicity chair of PAL, which is the Philippine American League.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Laurens. Lauren Squared, even.
Lauren Squared. It's the Lauren Squared special. Okay, so now that we've got a quick little introduction, we're going to get into the thick of it, okay?
Okay.
So my first question for you is, why did you guys decide to come to Binghamton, and how did scholars impact your decision to do so? And once again, we will start with senior Lauren.
Well, I decided to come to Binghamton because I only applied to two schools, SUNY Binghamton and SUNY Buffalo.
Which is insane.
So, because I wanted a SUNY school for, the deal that it is. And those are my favorites. They have good engineering programs and everything. And then I got the invitation to the Scholars Program, and I was like, well, this is great. I was excited to have a small group of people that I could get to know without, having an overwhelming, group of friends from my floor, my classes that just, this is very cohesive, and it's nice to be able to go to events and classes with a select group that you can keep seeing over and over. I loved the campus, but honestly, I committed before I saw the campus, so
It worked out.
It worked out. I thought it was great. I think those are my main reasons.
Wonderful. And
Awesome.
you, junior Lauren?
Right. So it's actually funny. I never planned on coming to Binghamton at all. I only applied to it as a safety school.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I applied to 10 other schools, I think. And I got into all of them. But
Interesting.
But what happened was I was really trying for a direct med program. And so the ones that I applied to and I didn't get into the direct med, I was like, oh, those are out of state, I'm not going to those. So it kind of came down to Stony Brook, Hofstra, and Binghamton. And yeah, I got the invitation to Scholars, and then I really delved into researching what they offered, and I was really attracted because of the Guthrie medical internship.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's an amazing opportunity that other schools I didn't see really offered a full semester away at a hospital. And so I'd say Guthrie was one of the main reasons that really impacted my decision, but I don't know if I would have came here if I didn't get the invitation to Scholars.
That's awesome. I
Yeah.
did not know that.
Could you talk for a minute about Guthrie for people who might not have heard of the program before?
Sure. So Guthrie is about a 15-week, one-semester internship where you live at the hospital and you do rotation shadowing doctors and you complete a research project.
Excellent. Yeah, that was very perfect summation. Very concise. Exactly what the people need to hear. So thank you both for those answers. And I think it's similar things that we've been hearing on every episode. And so it's nice to know there's consistency amongst the community here. But I kind of want to further that question by asking, now that you're here as a scholar, what have been your favorite parts of being a Binghamton University Scholar?
My favorite parts are definitely the events. I love Thanksgiving. I love the hike. I'm it's just my favorite part of like every month. I'm like, oh, this month is the hike, this month is Thanksgiving, basketball game. Like, it's great. We always go as like a group of friends, and there's good food. I don't know, I'm being like silly, and you know, the classes are good too. I'm very academic and scholarly, but I love the events.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. The events are one of the best parts of being in Scholars. But I would also say one of my favorite parts has just been the people that I've like made connections with here in Scholars, because like most of my core friend group is all Scholars except one person. It's like 10 of us. So Scholars has definitely helped me because I'm a very shy person. So having that community that's like close knitted and small definitely helped me like branch out and make new friends that I probably would not have made without Scholars.
Completely
Yeah,
agree.
it was really nice freshman year to all like hang out in the common room.
Yeah.
Together. So great.
Yeah, nothing will top that.
No.
Just like
Second
the
floor
wackiest
broom.
college experience. You know, you feel like you're in a sitcom all the
Yeah.
time. It's really great.
That actually might
I
be
mean,
my
attending
favorite part.
Mentor Eli's events.
Mentor
Yes.
Eli, I'm telling you, best mentor class of 2026. Not to, you know, dig in on anyone else, but
Mentor
Eli.
It was always great to see you at the events, Lauren, and Lauren and Rachel too.
Yes,
So
I
you
would
pull up as
pull
well.
up for some Nurchie's pizza, okay,
That's
for
right,
mentor
always.
Eli.
Oh, yeah.
So both of you have kind of already mentioned, but you're both like heavily involved with the program. Obviously, you attend events, but you are on the Wall of Fame. We have a Wall of Fame in the office, so any leadership position you are in the office, you'll get a little headshot, and just so people can recognize who they can like access for information or questions. And so Lauren Peralta literally shows up 3 times on the wall. She's that involved. And obviously, Lauren Frye is also on the wall. So what has made you stay engaged with the program?
I would say it's definitely a good opportunity to have worked in the office, because I really wanted to get more involved with the inner workings of the program, I think. I was really intrigued by, you know, all the events that we hold and all of the things that we do in the classes and the logistics behind all of that. And I think that's why in particular I wanted to work in the office. And in general, like, I love the Scholars program as a whole, and the classes that were offered were really great, and I wanted to just be a bigger part of that.
Beautiful.
I think my involvement, it was kind of like a funny transition because I applied to work in the office after like only being at Binghamton
Right.
like for a week. And like thankfully I got the job last year, and like it was my freshman year, so it was a real interesting transition to like be transitioning to college, but also like transition to getting a job, because this was also like the first job I had. But yeah, it was interesting to see like from the very beginning like the inner workings of the office without having like just the experience of always just being like a guest at the events.
Yeah.
And I think having that first year being involved with the office kind of made me want to be more involved, which is why I became a mentor and a TA in my sophomore year. And I really enjoy like being able, now that I'm a mentor and a TA, to like get connections with the first years and kind of see it, like see the program through their perspective. I think it's really interesting.
That's super fun. Like watching you age out and then the new babies come in.
Yeah.
And yeah, you are our superstar, Lauren Peralta.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I was going to ask, like, what's been your experience working in the office, but you both kind of talked about that already. So I'm going to ask, like, a different question and say, like, talk about a little bit about the classes you've taken in the Scholars Program and kind of how they've impacted your academic and or personal growth, potentially.
Yeah, so the first one was Scholars 127, and that I took with my freshman year roommate, Becca, and my friend from high school, Carissa. So we had a wonderful little group that we'd like work on little projects together, or when we'd have to get into little groups for discussion, we would talk about things in class together, which was always fun. And I don't know, it was just a really great class because there was a lot of variety in what we did. There were presentations on anything you wanted. It was just a very good introduction class to meet other scholars and learn about Leonardo da Vinci. You know?
No longer, but
No longer.
We are at the end of an era.
I have
the
to
class
say I
of
did
25.
enjoy it. Yeah, and then my 280s were History Goes to the Movies and Mapping the Soundscape. I loved Mapping the Soundscape so much. That's wonderful. I highly recommend it. I loved the professor. it was awesome using like all of the recording equipment. I'd hike out into the nature preserve with my like different kinds of microphones and record sounds in the night, and then I'd edit it. It was just such a great experience. Yeah, and then the Scholars 227, which was spring sophomore year, was just a really nice way to learn about how to be involved in the greater community outside of the university, and I thought that was a really cool experience just to kind of like open my mind a little bit to that kind of thing. I think that's pretty
Awesome. And how are you going to fulfill your Scholars 3 and 4 requirements?
my Scholars 3 requirement I'm fulfilling currently. I'm UCAing for an engineering freshman lab class.
And what does UCA mean?
UCA is undergraduate course assistant.
Perfect. And then your Scholars 4?
My Scholars 4, I have a class that I'm required to take as an engineer that covers it, so
Okay.
it's a project.
Wonderful. Thank you.
So I guess about my experience, I'll try not to like overlap too much with what Lauren Frye
I got a little
said.
excited.
No, you're good. Yeah, 127 was definitely a good like intro to college transition class, and definitely helped with meeting new people in the program that like I definitely never would have like talked to probably before because they lived on like a different floor. But I would say now like TAing it is also really interesting because I, as I said before, like was really shy, and I was like I never could have imagined myself like leading the class and presenting to the kids, but it's definitely helped me open up and become like better with public speaking and like making presentations. So I'm happy about that. And then for my 280s, last year I did how chemistry changed history.
Oh,
Yeah.
I wanted to take that one.
Yeah,
That's
that was
cool.
that was a cool class, especially because it was a lot of like self-directed research. Like we would go to class and she would sometimes like give us topics to research, but then for like the actual assignments that we had to submit, it was like, oh, just pick some like chemistry thing that happened like in between this time period and then like write about it. And so we could like really branch off into like what we wanted to research. So I know for like the modern one, some people went to like biochemistry. I went to like neurochemistry because neuroscience and chemistry like cross-section is what I wanted to research. So I really enjoyed doing that class. It was definitely probably my favorite Scholars class I've taken so far, but I really haven't taken that many, so don't quote me on that. And then right now I'm currently taking the museums class, Creating Collective Memory, taught by our wonderful Catherine Bowman. That's right. So I've been enjoying that class too because it's definitely given me such a different perspective on museums that I never thought about some of the things that I learned in that class. So I don't know if Catherine will ever teach it again. Sorry for future generations, but
Catherine, come back.
yeah, you guys try and convince her to teach it again. And yeah, so far that's all I've taken with Scholars. I'll be doing Guthrie.
Congratulations.
Yes,
Thank
congratulations.
you.
That is a huge
Next
accomplishment.
semester. Yeah,
So
I'm excited.
Does that satisfy your Scholars 3 and 4?
It does satisfy my Scholars 3 and 4. However, I'm already getting Scholars 3 covered because of 127 TA. So I'll have those requirements complete soon.
Wonderful.
Wonderful.
Yeah. And then I have to ask, as a follow-up,
Yes.
did your experience in 127, how did your teaching assistant
Yeah.
like impact that?
Like impact how I see the class? Or?
No, the teaching assistant that you had.
Oh. I think my teaching assistant really made me want to be the 127 TA because they were just so great. Like, they really shaped my experience in enjoying the class. Thank you, Eli.
No problem. Yeah.
I was not following for the longest time. I was like, what is happening right now? And then I fully realized that what was
The
what was
reveal.
occurring. Eli, you are the successor to Eli. Like, Eli was on the wall a million times. TA, mentor, now spot. It's literally you.
Yeah.
You are taking the torch and passing it on.
I mean, how could I not follow Eli's steps?
An absolute icon of the program.
There's
Exactly.
no one who could better take my path than Lauren.
Aw.
And honestly, I feel like I'm following you because you worked in this office before me.
No, but she did the other two positions first, so I'm following you.
There's a little overlap.
Yeah, there's a mutual respect.
Yes,
Yes,
they
exactly.
both built up each other's scholars experience.
That's right.
Exactly. All right. So now it's time for everyone's favorite question, okay? The most difficult one on the list.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you could change one thing about scholars, anything at all, no matter how serious or how silly, what would it be?
All right, I think I have prepared a silly answer.
Okay.
I think that more people should come into the office and get hot chocolate during the day.
Ooh.
True. People do not utilize that enough.
It needs
Good
to be
answer.
utilized.
No one takes
Especially, aren't we
advantage of
getting
that.
whipped cream? Marshmallows.
We're getting
We're
marshmallows.
getting marshmallows?
Wait, I didn't
Yeah.
know this.
Neither did I.
So
We are getting
Office
marshmallows.
update. That should be noted at the staff meeting.
This is like monumentous,
It
guys.
is.
I'll tell the story, the origin story.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was in the office, I was making hot chocolate, and I was drinking it, and I was like, this is really good, but there's something missing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, marshmallows. And then as a joke, kind of like half joke to Morella, I was like, Morella, we should get marshmallows. And then Morella's like, yeah, we could do that. And I was like, oh, awesome. I thought they'd say no, like we can't do
Yeah.
that, you know? And that's honestly, that's kind of how this podcast started, the same way.
Yes.
Is like half jokingly, half serious. I was like, we should have a Scholars podcast. And then people were like, yeah, that's a great idea. And now here we are,
And
recording
here
a
we are.
podcast.
Talking about
Episode
marshmallows.
Here we are with
Yeah.
podcast. Here
We
we are with
really-
marshmallows.
Should propose whipped cream.
Yeah,
That could be
Now
another
that
add-on.
we know marshmallows are soft launch, can we get whipped cream too? Beautiful answer, Lauren.
Thank you.
yeah. And I
Thank
think
you.
as people who work in the office, right, it'd be nice if like people came in, you know, we
Yes.
could
I loved
To
it.
say
answer
hello.
their questions.
Like
yeah.
they're like the few regulars that always come in
Right.
and like sit in the
It's
back, but
exciting.
like no one takes advantage of it. It's so
Yeah.
sad.
I need to take better advantage. It is free. Free hot chocolate,
And
free coffee.
Yeah.
Free coffee. The amount of times I might have talked about this already on the podcast, but I seriously like I will be like breaking down, malfunctioning, like battery running on
Yeah.
low. Run to the office at 3 p.m., make a coffee,
Good to go.
good to go. For free.
It's great.
We are poor college students, okay?
Not even that, but just like sitting in the lounge
Mhm.
and like
So
doing work.
nice.
Like it's such a quiet, comfy space.
It is.
And like
You can answer the question of the week
Question
while
of
you're
the
there.
week.
exactly.
Oh,
I love
beautiful. Okay. Now, Lauren Peralta, your turn.
Right. So if I could change one thing, I have to make this proposal because I feel like we've been doing it, but like no one's ever put it to action. And I think all of us really want to see it.
I agree.
We need to really start a Scholars Olympics.
Yes.
I
Scholars
want it
Oh my
Olympics.
so
God.
bad.
Yes. That's a great answer.
I'm telling you guys, like, I have been talking about this with my friends since last year, and I'm like, guys, when are we going to start the Scholar Olympics?
This is
Yeah.
the catalyst.
That would be so successful.
Yeah, I
Right?
think that would be a huge event, and it would be so much fun to like, because
Yeah.
you could bring together all the classes of
Mhm.
scholars, and then
Exactly.
like pick
Oh my
different
gosh,
events.
imagine we all made like class flags and had to like fly them in like an opening parade. Like
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. I love
The
the
New
Olympics.
field, we're just going to be walking
Literally,
around in a
yes.
circle.
I would. I mean, we did Quidditch that one year,
It's
and that was
true.
pretty
That
successful.
was great.
So
I don't know this. I
yes,
know
you
this.
don't know about this.
No.
Our freshman year.
Yeah.
Okay, this technically wasn't Scholars. Now that I think about it,
It
it
was-
was technically a Broom Hall event
Yes.
that Justin Frank.
Every
here's his
podcast.
cameo that Justin Frank planned through Newing Hall, like Broom Hall Gov. But if we're being honest, it was just a Scholars event. Like it was just the Scholars on the second and third floor doing this. But so we they made like Quidditch hoops, and they got did brooms. I don't even know.
so
It's like a stick.
It's-
It was
Yeah.
a stick.
Yeah.
And we played Quidditch on the field
Yeah.
in like late spring semester. And it was
Yeah.
so fun. It was very funny.
Yeah.
But
This
yes.
is
And that was
crazy.
hyper successful. So an Olympics would be even better because far less niche.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, much more broad.
So yeah,
Yeah.
That's so cool.
that's the story.
I'm glad I got to
That's
hear
awesome.
it. I never knew this.
Yeah, I'm disappointed that last year's Broomhall government didn't continue the tradition.
Come on,
It's a
Jack
shame.
Hannigan.
Was
He
in
was
charge?
on it.
Okay. Yeah. So
If anything, we get Scholars Council to do it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
There we go.
true.
All right,
Another
noted.
catalyst.
See, now that it's on the podcast, it is real and
Exactly.
it has to happen.
Yeah. So secretly, this podcast is just a way for us to share all our ideas. with the program.
Exactly, and make it real.
Yeah. But if you haven't listened to an episode before, you might not know what time it is. It's game time.
Yes!
man.
Yes! This
So
is my favorite part.
today I
Very
have
seriously.
prepared a game for
Dun, dun.
Rachel and Lauren Squared, the two Laurens. So I'm sure, or I'm not sure, but maybe you've heard of Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader?
You're smarter than a fifth grader.
Thank you, Rachel.
You're
for that
welcome.
beautiful
Really nice.
rendition.
You're welcome.
Today we're playing Are You Smarter Than a Binghamton University Scholar?
It's a little less catchy.
So if you're listening at home, feel free to play along and see if you can get more questions right than our 3 scholars who, I'm not going to say they volunteered because they were kind of forced to do this because they didn't know until they got here.
We love to be here and
Yes.
play this
Yes.
game. Don't
Thank you. Yeah. So I'm going to ask you each a question in the
Scary.
category of math, science, geography,
Ooh.
history, and English.
Scary.
And we're going to see who gets the most right.
I feel
All
ill.
right.
This is intimidating.
So,
A little
Rachel,
bit
you're
nervous.
going first. As the co-host of the podcast,
Okay.
you're going to demonstrate. So take
right.
as much time as you need,
'Kay.
but no outside resources, no phone a friend, no help from any of us. And you have to give me a final answer, and I'll tell you if it's right or not.
Okay.
So your first question is in math.
Am
I know, maybe not your strong suit.
I
but
allowed to write?
If you need a pen and paper, although I don't think you'll need it.
Okay.
But maybe, actually, I don't want to assume.
Okay.
So if a backyard is 50 feet long and 20 feet wide, how many square feet is the yard?
$1,000?
Say that a little louder.
1,000 square
That's
feet?
correct.
Okay.
You seem so unconfident.
I'm scared. Okay. Thank you. I did take AP Calc and I did do good in it. All right.
Do well.
Maybe no
The
English
English question
questions.
might be tough for you.
No! Cut that.
Okay, so next up is science. If you don't get this, I'm going to be so disappointed
Oh
because it's a
no.
chemistry
Oh
question.
no, I did
Oh,
love
no.
chem, but I might not
Okay.
get it.
On the periodic table,
Oh no.
which element is represented by the letter N?
Nitrogen.
That is correct.
Good job.
Thank you.
I'm very proud right now.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Okay, geography.
Mm-hmm.
What landmass on Earth is known as the island continent?
Australia?
That's correct. So it's
Yay.
the smallest
Yes.
continent, and it's an island
Mhm.
and a country.
So
like
true.
Australia is so cool, if only because of the geographical facts about
Yes.
it.
I agree.
Kangaroos.
Kangaroos, yeah.
Spiders.
Didgeridoo. Down under.
All right, hear me out. Scholars field trip to Australia.
Yes.
And then we could deal with all the scary animals. I'm actually horrified of Australia. Have you seen the
Yeah,
spiders?
I'm a little
Yeah.
scared.
But we're gonna conquer our fears.
Okay.
It's like a fear conquer.
It'll be fear. Oh my god, a
Yes.
fear factor course, new topics course. They do study abroad courses here.
Yes.
There's a history course that they're offering next semester that takes you to France.
Oh my Lord.
Take us to Australia. Fear factor.
But only spiders.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, history.
Okay.
This-
If
I-
I
You
don't
got
get
this.
this, it will be very embarrassing.
Especially because we like low key mentioned something similar to this earlier in the podcast.
All right.
That might have given you the answer, but I think you know anyway. Who painted the Mona Lisa?
Oh, Leonardo da Vinci.
Whose name got name dropped twice today.
Yes.
Wow.
Now. Yeah. All right, and then English. So you're 4 for 4.
Mhm.
Can you go 5 for 5?
I hope so.
How many syllables are there in the word Mississippi?
4.
4 is correct. Congratulations.
Woo!
5 for 5.
So smart.
Blessed.
All right, Lauren Frye.
Oh,
you're up
boy.
now.
All right.
So I tried to make all of the sets of questions the same difficulty,
Okay.
but if you want to like argue with me afterwards, that's totally valid.
Okay.
How many zeros are in the numeral for 1 million?
6.
That's correct.
Woo!
So that was the math question. Next up is science. This might be tricky, but because I honestly think I would have gotten this one
no.
wrong.
Oh no.
Lauren's
No,
an
you got
engineer.
this.
It's okay.
Yeah.
What does a paleontologist study?
Oh,
Oh, you know this.
like bones.
Can you give me a more specific answer?
Digging.
No.
Slightly
What?
more. You're so close. I don't want to say you're wrong.
Whose bones?
Dinosaurs.
I'm looking for a very specific word that's very like
Paleontology.
yeah. That's a synonym of bones.
Yes.
Even yeah.
I'm blanking. Do you know? Fossils.
Fossils. Yeah. So we'll give you half
Oh.
credit for that
All
because
right,
Rachel
all right.
did have to
You know
sound
better.
it.
I was like,
But
what
yeah.
am I going for here?
You know,
I
I
get
don't.
it.
I don't want to say that bones were wrong, but yeah.
Bones.
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 Fossils are bones.
True.
but a special type.
Half point. That's,
Half point,
That's
yeah.
good.
Okay. So
Dinosaurs.
you're
Okay.
1.5 out of 2 right now. This
Perfect.
also, I'm sorry, I give you really hard questions, Lauren.
Brutal.
Which U.S. state does Maine border?
Does Maine border? Oh my god. I do the 50 states game constantly, but I don't actually know what Maine borders.
Yeah. If it makes you feel better, I had no idea.
Connecticut?
It's not Connecticut,
No.
I'm sorry. It's New Hampshire.
Okay.
So Lauren, You're 1.5 out of 3.
Somewhere up there.
Okay, so now we're going on to history.
Close.
What revolutionary leader wrote the influential Common Sense in 1776?
Oh.
I feel like this is probably
I
harder
don't
than
remember.
Rachel's question. Rachel, do you know?
I'm not saying.
You
I'm
do know
scared I'm gonna
this?
get it
Do you
wrong.
know?
Is it Thomas Paine?
It is Thomas Paine.
Oh,
Steal
good job.
from Lauren
I was like,
Peralta.
is it
Familiar.
Thomas Paine from Common Sense?
Yeah, so I'm sorry, Lauren. That's
okay.
you're 1.5 out of 4.
I'm not smarter than a Binghamton University Scholar.
But you are one, so
Yes.
that's what's important. And then last up in English, what is the plural form of the word deer?
Dear.
That's correct.
Good job!
I should clarify deer with 2 E's, right? Because there is deer with EAR, which is a different. But
I
I think
understand.
you understand.
I understood, yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, we're on the same wavelength
Yeah.
here
2.5 credit? Is that true?
for deer.
Was it
Or-
2.5?
Oh,
Out of
2.5.
5?
Yeah.
Woo! I almost passed.
All right, Lauren Peralta, you're up
That's
now.
actually scary. I'm like, I feel like it's pointing
That
out
wa-
why
that
I
was-
shouldn't be a scholar
That was
right now.
brutal.
That
That
was
was
hard.
brutal.
Yeah. Okay, so your math question
Or
is:
is kidding.
This is gonna go bad.
the interior
mental math.
angles of a triangle always sum to what degree?
You know this.
I'm like, it's 180, right?
That is 180.
Yeah.
That's
I was like,
correct.
it's not
We're so
360.
uncertain.
I was like, it's not
I
360.
was
but
so
like, really
scared for the
doubting
math
myself.
questions. I'm like, ah.
Yeah. So
180, right? She's
I was
pulling
in
up
my
the
head. I was
map.
trying to do like, what's a square? That's 360. So
I know. I was like,
Yeah.
it's not 360, right? But I was like, if it is 360 and I get it wrong, I was like, that's really awkward.
yeah.
180, right?
Okay, 1 for 1. All right, your science question. What do you call a scientist who studies rocks?
Geologist.
That's correct. Yeah.
Good job.
And then geography. What is the capital of New York?
Albany.
Yay!
See, I feel like you guys all know that. I honestly don't know if I would have gotten
Oh,
that
because
right.
you're New Jersey.
Yeah.
Right, like capital New Jersey, Trenton, obvious. Or,
No,
like,
I
you guys
would
probably
not have
don't
got
know.
that. I would not have got that.
If you had asked me, I know it's not New York City, but I would have been like, oh, is it Buffalo? Is it Albany? Like one
Yeah.
of those northern
It's
cities,
Albany.
upstate.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know a lot
It
of
used to be
capitals.
Kingston.
Where even is Kingston?
Further down.
I've never heard of it.
I didn't
That's
know that.
wild.
When was it?
Kingston was by me.
changed?
I don't remember when, but initially, like when it was like first estate, it was Kingston.
Okay, so like not in our lifetime.
No.
Oh.
I was like, I don't remember
no,
that.
No.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay. So your history question, Lauren Peralta, is who is the author of the 1960 novel about social and racial inequality, To Kill a Mockingbird?
Wait, no, this is bad. I read this book. That's even worse.
See, I've seen the movie, which is different.
No, I had to read this book for like AP Lang. Wait,
Yeah, I do have a hint available if you need it.
I might need it.
Might need the hint.
I think I do.
The first name of this person is also the name of one of the colleges here at Binghamton. And it might be the
Is-
college that 3 of us are in.
Harper?
Harper's the first
Lee?
name. Harper Lee, yes, that's correct.
I think I remember the Lee part, but I don't remember the first name.
Good job. Yeah, so we'll give you half credit for that one because you got half the name. And then your last question is the English question. So in the sentence, Sally is a very good person, what part of speech is the word very?
Very. What are they called? And an adverb?
It is an adverb.
Oh, good job.
An adverb modifies a verb.
Yes.
Adjective or even another adverb.
Yeah.
This is really random, but I love, like, okay, I don't know, have you guys seen, like, those old composition notebooks that we used to have, like, in elementary school? And, like, on the back, there's, like, a little section on the cover that says, like, English rules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the first rule. It's so fun to say.
What is it?
I before E except after C, or when sounded as A as a neighbor and way.
Oh, wow.
I've
That's
never heard the
impressive.
second part.
Yeah!
Neither was I.
People don't know that part. That's, like, that's the fun part.
awesome.
It's so fun.
You know, I've heard that rule before, and I always thought it was BS because
Nice.
the only time I can think of, like, I always think of the word science, right? And that's, right, I before E except after C, but there it's C-I-E, so
Yeah.
it, like, breaks it, but I'm sure that's, like, the exception.
There are
Um,
many exceptions.
Yeah,
There's
that's,
always exceptions.
There's always exceptions.
confusing.
that's the English
There's
language for you.
always exceptions in English. Always. The worst
Yeah.
language.
Yeah. Now that the results have been tabulated, I'm going to announce, how people performed in Are You Smarter Than a Binghamton University Scholar? So unfortunately, in third place was Lauren Frye,
Oh man.
who did, honestly, you definitely had the hardest question.
You did.
So
You did.
I apologize for that.
Fossils.
Yeah, the
New
fi-
Hampshire.
New Hampshire was
New
brutal.
Hampshire. To be fair, I looked
Thomas
at a map
Paine.
and I was picturing New Hampshire.
Oh,
So
yeah. Okay, that's good.
maybe like 0.1 of a point.
Yeah, so 2.5 out of 5.
It's 2.6.
2.6.
2.6, sorry, yes.
Thank you.
So it's above a 50, so that's a passing grade.
Woo!
Yes.
And then in second place, we have Lauren Peralta with 4.5 out of 5.
Woo!
Yeah.
Good job. And then that makes our winner, Rachel Listowski.
Let's
And-
go!
Yeah, she's very happy right now.
I am. I will say I had the easiest questions.
Yeah. But also, you had the most pressure as going first.
True.
You didn't know what to expect.
True.
Mhm.
Yeah.
True.
Very proud
That's
of you.
right.
You
I
did
love game
amazing.
time. I take it very seriously.
Yeah. So I want to first thank both of our Laurens here for coming on the podcast. You were
you.
such
Thanks
lovely
for having us.
and respectful guests, and it was an absolute pleasure to interview you. I'd like to thank my co-host Rachel
Of course.
for being wonderful as ever.
Thank you.
And I want to thank our listeners because this podcast couldn't happen without you. And it means a lot that you care and listen to us.
We love your support.
you.
Yes, thank you. So make sure to stay safe. And as always, it's Scholars with a capital S.